The exact location of the Israel Antiquities Authority warehouse is a state secret. Entering it is like getting into the Fort Knox of archaeology, and for good reason. It contains one of the world's richest archaeological collections. Stored pell-mell, flints, amphoras and jars, sarcophagi, prehistory, Bronze Age, Hellenistic, Byzantine and Islamic periods intertwine and pile up in endless corridors.
We have tens of thousands of artifacts lying there in the storage, and nobody studied them.
More than 30,000 artifacts are catalogued here each year, and the antediluvian flow continues unabated, seemingly inexhaustible. If they were to be locked in and fed under the door, the 15 employees of the Israel Antiquities Authority would need 5 years non-stop just to catalog all the items that are stored here. And if all the material that has been examined and hasn't been brought here yet was to be brought, it would take 10 years. That's quite a Sisyphean task. The biblical and historical land covering modern-day Israel is probably one of the most excavated, if not the most excavated on Earth. But for instance, this archaeological park, larger than Caesarea, is left in disuse. Not enough funds have been allocated to preserve the site. Located on the margins of the ancient Bet Shemesh Tel, or mound, a survey assesses the value of a potential archaeological site. Over 300 salvage excavations are carried out annually. The purpose of these rescue digs is to preserve the potential heritage threatened by land development works. Here, a highway, coupled with an interchange, is being built. The country is in the grip of a construction blitz.
Bet Shemesh is a wonderful but also a tragic example, because putting a road, a highway, on a biblical mound, for me is a tragedy.
Excavation is destructive, and the archaeological record is limited. If we will continue to excavate in a very rapid pace, there won't be much left to the generations to come. The best place for archaeological stuff to be is in the ground, before they are exposed and then moved to another place, and the site itself is gone. You cannot excavate any site twice.
Many Israeli archaeologists, our two experts included, are therefore calling for quite intriguing measures.
In a place like Israel, which was so intensely excavated, we have to say stop. We need to stop excavating. I'm talking about excavating something that is not necessary. Excavations will always continue to be as part of the development of the country. The question is if we need to initiate excavations where we don't have to. And the answer for me is definitely not, because some kind of contradiction here. Every year I'm going to Timna and excavate the copper mines. Instead of going to excavate a new site, destroy a new site, we can go and excavate, quote unquote, in the storage.
I absolutely agree. We have to educate ourselves to be more patient and not to run immediately to excavate.
It's a hot topic, too hot perhaps. This unusual opinion, which seems to go against the very raison d'etre of the discipline, was nevertheless spelled out loud and clear during the 48th Annual Archaeological Congress held in Jerusalem in April, and enjoys a near consensus. The main argument lies in technological advances, satellites and drones, multispectral and thermal cameras, soil samples, molecules, isotopes and DNA analysis, chemical dating of the last exposure of soil to the sun.
This is a part of a garment that was found covering a skeleton. So we have some human remains from around 1000 BCE. Most of the work is done in the lab. Now it's with the School of Medicine here. He had a knees problem. We can extract the DNA of the person who wore this garment.
We're dealing now with microarchaeology. When we came back to Masada, we're not excavating, hundreds of meters. We took half a meter and made a trench and took all the material. I don't need to imagine what wine King Herod was drinking. I know it. It was from 19 BC, a very good year. I know the vineyard. I know the name of the producer from south of Italy.
The romance of archaeological expeditions a la Indiana Jones would therefore belong to a bygone era.